Welcome back to our special series on greenhouse gas emissions legislation.
Today, we'll be looking at two case studies to help us better understand how legislation affects buildings and their property owners.
For our first case study, we'll be examining a building in New York City with business class occupancy. New York City's Local Law 97 Advisory Board has established emission limits for 2024 through 2029, with stricter limits coming in 2030. A coefficient is assigned for each utility type, which allows us to calculate how the building is performing. For our case study, let's take a mixed-use building of 100,000 square feet. The building has 90,000 square feet of business and accessory spaces and 10,000 square feet of retail space on the ground floor. Using our utility bills, we can calculate the building's greenhouse gas emissions and compare it to the budget. Unfortunately, this building is over their emissions limits and will receive a fine of over $10,000.
For our next case study, we'll be examining the same building but located in Toronto. If you remember from our first video, Canada taxes greenhouse gas emissions through the carbon tax, which is purely based on usage. We will use the same case study as we did in New York City. Taking a 100,000 square foot building and assuming the same electricity and gas usage, you can see how the penalty changes year after year. For 2023, the tax rate is $65 per metric ton of carbon. This building would be penalized just under $60,000 for 920 tons of greenhouse gas. Assuming consumption stays constant, prices of electricity and natural gas don't change, and no action is taken by the building owner, this penalty balloons up to $156,000 by 2030.
Greenhouse gas emissions limits will become more stringent in New York in 2030.
And the carbon tax in Canada will increase every year. Coming up with a plan to reduce utility usage will help building owners save money and comply with new legislation.
Stay tuned for our next video to learn about decreasing energy usage and reducing penalties.